What's better than playing Half-Life alone? Playing Half-Life with a friend. So it's really a shame that there are cut co-op missions that we never got to see. Because the more Half-Life, the better. Let us have a look at those cut missions. And with that, welcome to a new episode of the cut content of Half-Life.
For God's sake, open the silo doors! They're coming for us! It's our only way out!
Half-Life has, since the beginning, been an incredibly popular and influential video game franchise. In my case, it was Half-Life 1 that shaped my understanding of what a good first-person shooter should be. This captivating experience is what led to several expansion packs and the massive success of Half-Life 2. And the impact this game had can be seen by the thirsting for more Half-Life games. A thirst that Valve might be able to quench once again with Half-Life Alyx and other upcoming projects in development. However, there is one experience that the mainline entries have been lacking. Sure, we got PvP multiplayer, but so far co-op experiences have been rare. And what would be cooler than playing Half-Life together with a friend? Valve employed Gearbox Software to give us just that on the PS2 with the console port of Half-Life. With it came not only a slight visual upgrade, but also a completely new cooperative campaign, Half-Life Decay. I played the entire Half-Life Decay campaign again with Jarek to gather some footage for an analysis video over on his channel just recently. I suggest you go and give it a watch, as it gives you an interesting perspective of someone who just got to experience Half-Life Decay for the first time. I will link it in the end card of this video, and by the way, I do have a guest appearance there. When playing Half-Life Decay, one will notice strange jumps within the storyline. Not all missions are seamlessly connected, which comes down to two things. First of all, of course, the campaign is split into different missions. And then, cut content, which is responsible for the bigger jumps. The first cut mission we are taking a look at today was to take place in between the chapter Domestic Violence and Code Green. In the release version of Domestic Violence, you need to find a security guard with the clearance codes for the Black Mesa air traffic control. This became necessary because the military had shut down the launch and blocked the air traffic apparently. So now you have to manually reset it all again and give the all-clear signal to enable Gordon Freeman to launch the Omega satellite. The cut mission was fitted in between those events. In the original version, you had to find a guard who has security clearance for a high-security file room in which the clearance codes for the air traffic control are being stored, making it obvious that this mission could be cut easily and without much rewriting. It was possibly not essential to the story, and finishing it would have, well, put a strain on the deadline. However, it would have made for an interesting challenge, as you were to face a type of enemy not featured in the entire campaign. The cut mission begins with the security guard, Dr. Keller, and the two protagonists arriving near the Central Transit Hub, a place so far only mentioned in Half-Life but never shown.
The central security station is right over here. Follow me. My access code should open this and unlock any door around the Central Transit Hub.
You make your way into the security station near the Central Transit Hub, basically Barney's main office.
The hub? Heck, even track HEV suit movement. See, here are your signals here, and there's another signal over there. Must be that Freeman guy.
This must have been a pretty big installation, and possibly was the Black Mesa Center for Security, as from there, all transmissions across the Black Mesa research facility could be monitored, HEV suit movements be tracked, security doors be controlled, and tram lines be supervised. There, the protagonists would receive a transmission from the Lambda Labs. Let's listen in.
Anyone read me? I say again, this is Lambda Labs. Can anyone read me? Ah, Doctor, it's good to hear your voice. We have been trying to contact the Central Security Station for quite some time. We are trying to stop the alien influx, but something is preventing us from doing so. Some sort of energy directed from the other side seems to be holding the dimensional breach open by force. Our sensors are too close to the anomaly to give us clean readings on the rift. We must use the Omega satellite. We tried to launch the delivery rocket, but those soldiers seem to have shut down the launch sequence. I know. We are hoping that Gordon Freeman can accomplish the launch, but he can't launch it after an emergency shutdown unless the all-clear signal is uploaded to the Black Mesa air traffic systems. We don't have access either to the code or the air traffic systems, but we believe the code should be in the high-security file room quite close to where you are, and the air control computer is at the airfield directly over the Central Transit Hub. Thank you. We have much work to do here, but we'll keep in touch.
I cannot really say if there are any possible responses by Dr. Keller to this, because all voice lines that could have been there seem to be missing from the game's files. After the conversation with the Lambda Labs, Dr. Green and Dr. Cross make their way towards the high-security file room on the other side of the Central Transit Hub to retrieve the code.
The file room is on the other side of the hub. I'll open all the security gates between here and there for you. We've got an access violation at some of the gates near where you are. Better be careful. I think you got company. I'll have to close the gates after you go through them, so you two are going to need to stick close together.
During the retrieval operation, they are being notified that the security station has been damaged and that they are unable to listen in on military communication.
We need to get some repairs done if we're going to have a chance to listen in on these soldiers, but there's something blocking the maintenance access door. I guess the best way to get up there would be through the loading dock and storage bays.
Some repairs have to be made, but the access door to the damaged equipment is being blocked by something. The protagonists decide to investigate what is blocking the door before proceeding further towards the file room, only to find out that the maintenance door is being blocked by one of the biggest enemies available in Half-Life, a Gargantua. Just like in the original Half-Life, a Gargantua is not easy to kill with a frontal assault. So just like in the original, it needs to be lured into a trap. Parts of the central hub were supposedly spanned by a bridge that could be lowered and raised, similar in design to the bridge seen in the beginning of Half-Life Blue Shift. This was suggested by a 2016 ValveTime article for which former Gearbox employees had been interviewed.
Maybe you can somehow lure it onto the bridge and use that as a weapon. The bridge controls are up there.
Just like the guard suggested, this bridge is being employed as a weapon to crush the alien monster. One player has to bait and lure the massive alien, while the other player has to operate the bridge controls and hit the switch just in time to kill the beast. The game files include an unused animation that show the Gargantua trying to stem the bridge. But apparently, the bridge's construction is so massive that it's even too much for the Gargantua. And here's a curious thing to mention. I own Half-Life for the PS2 from an early production run, and the German version features a picture of this cut Half-Life Decay mission on the back, depicting a scene of one of the doctors facing the Gargantua. In comparison, this is the North American cover, and is supposed to cover for the rest of the world. After the epic boss fight, the two reach the security file room, and after a brief battle with Vortigons, retrieve the code. The PlayStation 2 trailer for Half-Life provides us with a short glimpse at how this high-security file room could have looked like in the final game. Here at this point, the screen was likely to fade to black, ending this chapter, and in the following missions, the two were up on the surface to make their way towards the Black Mesa Air Control Center, which is, like the scientists from the Lambda Labs noted, directly above the Central Transit Hub.
Gina, Colette, do you read me? You are in the basement of the Black Mesa Air Control Building. You need to find the control.
The Decay game files include a number of models and sound files intended for this mission, several of which you have seen and heard. There are also some silly ones, like a security guard offering you some pizza.
If you're hungry, help yourself to some pizza over there.
Even though the ValveTime article states that this was supposedly the least fleshed out mission, it is the mission we have the most information about, at least up until now. Cut voice lines as well as visual media. In the next episode, we will take a look at two other cut missions we have information on. A big shootout in a hangar, and the possible death of Gordon Freeman. Just in case you cannot get enough of this topic and cannot wait until the next episode, a ValveTime article will be linked in the video description for further reading. At this point, a special thanks to all the supporters on Patreon, who of course got to see this video first. And just in case you want more of this game and me, check out Jarek's analysis video on Half-Life Decay. Like I mentioned, I do have a guest appearance there. So, see you guys next time. Until then, have a nice day, and as always, goodbye and guten Tag.
That's a flattering HEV suit you got there, if you don't mind my saying so.
Oh, Thank you?